At 5 a.m., my phone vibrated like a trapped insect. Once, twice. Then it wouldn't stop. I didn't look at the screen right away. I already knew who it was. The kind of knowing that settles in your bones long before proof arrives. I lay there, eyes open, listening to the city breathe outside the window we once shared. Her side of the bed was still perfectly made, always was. When I finally picked up the phone, the lock screen was a confession. 50 messages, her name, again and again. Panic compressed into blue bubbles. I scrolled one line. Please answer. Another. We need to talk. At 7 a.m., the second wave hit. 20 missed calls. Her sister. I let the phone fall back onto the mattress. A week ago, I had walked out of a restaurant while 30 people laughed at me. Tonight, the same people were scrambling in the dark, reaching for a man they had already buried. I closed my eyes, and the sound of tearing paper came back to me. The dinner had been her idea, a celebration. That was the word she used. A long table, polished glass, her employees arranged like witnesses. I sat at the far end, introduced with a half smile, as if I were an accessory she hadn't chosen herself. No one spoke to me. They spoke around me. When she stood up, the room hushed instantly. Power does that. She lifted my paycheck between two fingers, examined it like a stain. Then she ripped it in half. Again and again, paper drifting down like dead skin. "You leech," she said, loud enough for everyone. "You've sucked this company dry." I remember the way her sister smiled before joining in. "Pay back everything we spent training you," she shouted. "What a waste." Someone laughed, then more. Hands touched my back, not gently, a shove toward the door. Insults followed me like thrown coins. I didn't defend myself. I didn't explain. I didn't even look at her, because in that moment, something clicked into place. She wasn't improvising, she was performing, and performances require an audience and a reason. I didn't go home that night. I went somewhere quieter, somewhere truth could breathe. I replayed the last year in fragments, her late nights, the way she guarded her phone like a second pulse, how she stopped asking my opinion on decisions I used to architect. I checked records first, corporate filings, board minutes, my name quietly removed, not fired, rewritten. Then phone logs, a number that appeared too often, always after midnight, always before she came home smelling like hotel soap. I watched, I listened, I stayed invisible. I requested internal audits using credentials she forgot I still had, followed digital trails she assumed I'd never understand. I wasn't emotional, I was methodical. The final piece came from her sister's laptop, careless, logged in, an email chain labeled Phase 2. My name appeared once, underlined, with a note, "After public separation, transfer liability." They weren't just erasing me, they were preparing to blame me. The report arrived on a Tuesday, clean, clinical, undeniable. Proof of an affair with a board member, proof of embezzlement masked as consulting fees, proof that my signature had been forged on documents meant to collapse under investigation. I printed everything, didn't rush. When I asked her to meet, she arrived confident, controlled, CEO posture intact. I slid the folder across the table. She didn't open it at first. "What's this?" she asked. I waited. When she finally looked, the color left her face in stages. Professional calm, then disbelief, then something close to fear. Her mouth opened. I raised a finger. "No," I said softly. Silence swallowed the room. "I know," I continued, "about him, about the money, about the plan." Her sister called. Again. I ignored it. I leaned back. You humiliated me to establish a narrative, I said. You needed witnesses. Victims need sympathy. Villains need someone to blame. She was shaking now. I placed my phone on the table and pressed play. Her voice filled the room, laughing, plotting, confident I was already gone. I forwarded everything, I said, to the board, to legal, to compliance. Her breath fractured. And I resigned, I added, publicly, before you could fire me. Understanding hit her like cold water. I stood. When this breaks, I said, they'll remember the dinner. They'll remember how eager you were to destroy me. I paused at the door. And they'll wonder what you were hiding. At 5 a.m., the messages kept coming. I never replied. I watched the sunrise from a place that belonged only to me. No rage, no triumph, just space where her voice used to echo. They lost everything in the way they deserved, slowly, publicly, without me lifting a hand. I didn't win her back. I didn't need to. I walked away with something far more valuable: silence, and the certainty that I was never the leech.